welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So I'm back filming today. Hopefully you haven't really noticed anything other than I haven't really been in my comments, or I haven't been in my comments. I had a little bit of a break, kind of enforced by the fact that my daughter completely 86'd my laptop. She destroyed my laptop. She came running in the house, tripped over the wire that was charging it, which resulted in my coffee. It was a scene, okay? My laptop was dead. So we managed to retrieve the footage that was on the laptop that I hadn't edited yet, which was Saturday's video that's just gone up. We managed to get that back, but the laptop was dead, and I've now managed to get a new laptop back. So we are back to normal scheduled programming. Not that we missed any, but that was a miracle, let me tell you. So today's question of the day is from lovely Sarah, who asks, you have a beautiful little family, would you like another baby in future? Do you know what, Sarah? After my daughter, I was like, we're done, we're only having one. It was a terrible pregnancy, lots of issues, a terrible labour, birth, recovery was all just awful, and I was like, never doing this again. And then my little boy was a wonderful surprise, and the complete opposite. Beautiful pregnancy, beautiful, perfect labour, birth, etc. And straight away afterwards I was like, let's go 3, let's make 10, let's make 100 babies. Whereas my husband was like, oh, we only said actually we were going to have 1, now there's 2, you know, how many more should there be? So yeah, I think we're probably done with the 2. I don't like to officially declare that we're done, because I just don't like, it makes me sad to say we're done officially. And you know, we said we were done after 1, so who really knows? But yeah, we're certainly not planning number 3, but at the same time, I don't like to say no, we're definitely done, because, you know, we said that last time. So back to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing this tag that was created by the wonderful Samantha, Marc and Allie Glines. Big fan of both their channels. I think they're both beautiful, adorable, multi-talented, amazing, kind women. And they came up with this wonderful, fun eyeshadow tag. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I have a list of questions, and I'm going to be showing you my palette from my collection that most ticks each box. So question 1 is, show your newest palette. So this is my newest palette. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette. We have only just got her mini palettes here in the UK on Cult Beauty. They're now available, and I jumped straight on there and got this one. I've been wanting this since the second I saw the sneak peeks. My friend Tara Lynn here on YouTube desperately tried to send me one of these palettes from the US, and it just never came. I know, bless her, she's tried several times and it keeps just being returned to her, and she's told, no, you can't post it here, you can't do it, you can't help your friend out, stop trying. So yeah, I was finally able to get my paws on this, which is one of the reasons why when you guys so kindly offer to send me stuff from the US that I can't get here, I always refuse, because I'm like, I don't want anyone to go through what Tara's just been through trying to get this palette here. It's not as easy as you might think, but this is my new palette, the Mini Glam. It's the palette I've got on my eyes today. Absolutely loving it so far. And the next question, show your oldest palette. And I'm a little embarrassed, to be honest, because it's my Modern Renaissance, and it's an absolute state of it. I mean, wow, send in the cleaners. I mean, there's pan everywhere. You can see this has been very well loved, hasn't it? Yeah, this like suede packaging is really not like designed to be kept nice and clean, is it? This was my first ever like proper palette, I'd say. I'd been like making my own MAC singles palette before this, but I don't think that really counts. This is my first like pre-made high-end eyeshadow palette, and I still love it and I still use it. It's just, you know, it's got a special place in my heart, being like the palette that started it all, you know. Next up, show your most expensive palette. I mean, I guess it would be my Pat McGraths. I have 3 and they all cost the same. These are the most expensive palettes I think that I own. I think the only one I paid max like full price for would be my Mothership 5, which was this one. This is the first Pat McGrath palette I got, and I think this is the only one that I paid full price for because I love a bargain. Divine Rose, when it launched on her site finally, she had like a discount code, so I think it was like 10%, 15% off, and then I picked up Mothership 1 in her sale recently, so I actually got 25% off this one. Can't go wrong. But yeah, so Mothership 5 would be my most expensive palette, but all of these are the same price. My most affordable palette would be the same, so Mini Glam. I also have the Mini Gold that I actually got from like an unofficial retailer who shipped it here to the UK, but these are my most affordable palettes. I used to have a Makeup Revolution palette that I gave to my sister, passed on to my sister, because I just don't use it. But yeah, these are my most affordable palettes. They're such a good price on Cult Beauty as well, so I'm like, it's just so much cheaper to get them now there in the UK as opposed to paying like £40 I paid for this one to get it here when it was from the US, and now £22. I mean, what a deal. Next up, show your everyday palette. I mean, I really don't have an everyday palette. I have like now a really decent collection I'm really happy with. I will never be someone who will have 200 eyeshadow palettes because it gives me anxiety to have like a lot of things like that. Like, I feel like as soon as I get to a certain point, I will start shipping stuff out because I can't have like clutter. No thank you, I don't like it. So yeah, I keep my collection quite, I mean, for a YouTuber, quite minimal, quite organized, and only stuff that I love stays for very long. Anything else gets donated, gets shipped out, gets sold, gets given away. So yeah, I keep it quite small. So as far as eyeshadow palettes, I literally use a different one every single day. I really love to use them all. So, you know, if I used one today, so I use my Mini Glam today, I definitely won't use that tomorrow. You know, I'll reach for a different one because I really love using them all. So I wouldn't say I have like an everyday palette that is the same one, but my most everyday appropriate palette is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. So this is her Pillow Talk Instant Eye palette. This was my first Charlotte Tilbury full eyeshadow palette and I love it. I feel like it is like the perfect everyday palette. Every single shade in here, maybe apart from like a couple of these, is just foolproof, bulletproof, every occasion, you know, office work, school, like wherever you're going, that's minimal, that's natural, that's just a pretty but, you know, soft glam look. This is your palette. I feel like you can do everything with this. It's just so well thought out. The shades are so much more pigmented than they look in here as well. They always surprise me when I put on the lid actually how much more vibrant they look on the lid than they do in the pan. But this to me just screams everyday. I just love these shades in here. They're definitely my vibe. Show your most colourful palette. This is going to be embarrassing because I don't really have colourful palettes, and I was actually so relieved that I have this one in my collection because I could actually show one that was, you know, vaguely colourful, because I'm not going to be someone who has a rainbow palette because, you know, I'm a basic bee. I can't lie, it's who I am. But this is the Natasha Denona Love palette. This is definitely my most colourful palette. Like, thank God this is here, otherwise I'd have been showing you like that Charlotte Tilbury one or something. But yeah, it is quite colourful, to be fair, isn't it? It is quite colourful, and I love this palette. I use it all the time. It's perfect, especially now, like spring, summer, like, you know, this palette, this lip, ooh, yes, I love this palette, and it is colourful. It is, isn't it? I love it, it's beautiful, look at it. But I suppose the thing is, this is colourful but in my safe zone. So these like pinks and purples and peachy kind of tones, that's like the colourful that I feel comfortable with, you know. if it was like electric neons. Oh. Show your smallest palette. So this is my smallest palette. This is from Viseart. This is the Paris edit, and oh my god, I die. It's so cute. It is, I guess it's kind of a toss-up because these are like longer and wider, and this one's like more of a square shape, and it's just diddy and just so cute. This is like, if I go on holiday or travel, this is the one I'm taking with me out of all these, and maybe like the mini Glam, because this is just going to do everything in a tiny teeny form, but it gives you so many options. The fact there's 12 shades but in such a teeny little package, you can't go wrong, can you? You've still got loads of options, but you need to, so cute. Your biggest palette now. I can't really do big palettes. Again, if it doesn't fit in my palette holder, I don't like it. I like my palettes to be a nice uniform size, you know? I can't really buy ginormous palettes like the ABH Norvina range. Oh my god, where is that gonna go? Where am I gonna put, that's not gonna go in line with all my other palettes in the nice holders. What am I going to do with that? And then like I actually had to get rid of my Morphe palette that I had because it was so large. I couldn't even look at it. It's too big. So again, this is a little embarrassing, but this, which is the Natasha Denona Metropolis, is my biggest palette. It's not that big. It's not that big, but you know, it's big enough for me. It is, because I mean, look at it, it's flipping glorious, this palette, absolutely glorious. If you buy one palette that you want to do every single thing you could possibly want a palette to do in your whole entire life, it's this guy, you know. It's got neutrals, it's got everyday, you know, whack a bit of bronze on the eye, shades, it's got pops of colour, it's got, you know, nights out smokies, lots of transition options, lots of lid options, it's got inner corner pops, it's got it all. What more can you want than this? But yeah, it's not giant, is it? It's not huge. Yeah, I have actually been for the longest time eyeing up the Natasha Denona green brown palette. Like, that's definitely on my list. But yeah, the size of it, it gives me anxiety because I don't know where I'm going to store it, and I just need everything to look neat, you know? Show your palette with the best memory. So my palette with the best memory is this Sigma Warm Neutrals, because this was my first actual like package that I got from a brand, Sigma. Like, I'm not on their PR list, but they sent me a box to like welcome me to like being an affiliate. I really never put affiliate codes in my description box until very recently because I just felt like people hated them and didn't want to use them, so I never really put them there. But Sigma did invite me, you know, maybe a year ago to become an affiliate for them, and I'm sure they'll like think I'm ridiculous because I've never literally used my Sigma links because I just feel like everyone hates them. So I've just been starting to do that recently when I think people understand affiliate links a bit more now. But yeah, it was such a moment when I got a box in the mail from Sigma and a brand that I knew that I had products from on my vanity, and then like getting a box from them, it was definitely a moment for me, and I really felt like, oh my god, I've achieved something. That was like a good memory. Show a palette worth the hype. Now this is going to be subjective. I mean, all of this is subjective, but I'm going to go with Divine Rose from Pat McGrath. Now, the reason I say it's worth the hype, I mean, I feel like to some degree, nothing is worth the absolute stress and panic and rage that this induced in some people. I mean, makeup for me, it just doesn't really do that. If I can't get something, if something sells out, I just kind of go, okay, well, never mind, I'll get the next one that's probably, you know, not that different. So in some ways, I feel like nothing is really worth the level of like hysteria that this palette caused. But at the same time, I do get it, because the difference with this palette versus like other Pat McGrath motherships is that for most people, This is the palette where they will use every shade, where they can look at it and easily make a look, where it's got enough mattes and muted shades to wear every single day of your life. As I feel like a lot of Mothership palettes are like, they kind of lend themselves much more to like a very glam, very like in your face, artistic, stunning, like jaw-dropping look. That's what like Mothership palettes do best. This one gave people who love Pat McGrath but are maybe intimidated by her palettes, or there's a couple of shades in there that they're like, I'm never going to use that. And when you're talking, you know, 100 and what are they, £125, something like that, for 10 shades. If there's 3 in there you won't use, it's starting to become like not worth it. This is the palette that anybody can use every shade in here and keep it soft and like keep it easy, and look in here and know how you're going to put a look together, even for, you know, the most eyeshadow shy people. So I think that's why there was so much hype about this, because it was her first sort of muted, soft glam palette without like any crazy pops of colour or really over the top shades. So for me, it is like, I love this deep into my soul. I'm sure when Divine Rose 2 drops, and yes, I'm going to chase after that with all my life, that it will probably become my #1. But until that day, this is my #1, because it's just, it does everything in such a beautiful way, and it's just really my colours. Like, it totally speaks to me. I totally get the hype. The hype is real. Show a palette not worth the hype. And this is, again, it's going to be controversial, especially because the palette I'm going to say I don't own. So people are going to be like, well, who the hell says like something isn't worth the hype? You don't even own it, you idiot. That's what people will say, you know, I hear you. But this Jeffree Star palette, I had literally people denouncing my channel because I said I wasn't going to buy this. I said I wasn't interested in it. People went nuts. The internet got broken. And I'm just like, I look at this palette and I'm like, I don't see a look here that I would wear myself for my taste and the colours I like, and the theme and the schemes and the plots and the plans. I don't see it. I look at this and I'm just like, I don't know what I would do with this. I don't like, no part of me was wanting to desperately get that palette, you know, at the expense of my soul. But yet the world lost its marbles over it, and I was just like, oh, exactly. Show your favourite palette from a favourite brand. So my favourite palette from ABH is Original Norvina. It is so beaten up and so used. The reason this is my favourite is, one, this is all my shades, pinks, purples, plums, those types of shades. I love all of these shades. The only one I don't use is Soul, which you could, you know, obviously it's going to be that one. But all of the others are beaten up. Like, I'm probably about to hit pan on about 7 or 8 of these shades. What I find, like, why this is my most favourite of all the ABH that I own is because, one, apart from Soul, I use every shade in here. 2, it's got the perfect matte to shimmer ratio. It's literally like 50-50 mattes, shimmers, which is perfect for me. I love every single shimmer in here, and it's like you just can't go wrong. Any shimmer in this palette that you put on your lids just is the most pretty, feminine, beautiful, soft glam shade. I feel like you've got so many sort of transition options in here as well that work so beautifully with the shimmers. This is like probably the only ABH palette that I think I have that I would repurchase. Like, once this is like run out, I can see myself repurchasing this, which is really unique for me for an eyeshadow palette, because there are so many out these days and so many coming all the time that you just, you know, buy a different new one. But this one, for me, I feel like it would just always be in my collection, because it just, you can't go wrong with it at all. And last but not least, show your most used palette. Now, this is tricky because my Modern Renaissance is the one that I've hit the most pan on, but that's generally because it's the oldest, so I've just had it longer, and I don't really use it that much now. I could say so many of these. Like I said, I really do go through and use all of my palettes like time and time again, but I think probably the one that I reach for like the most recently is probably Metropolis from Natasha Denona. This is probably the one that, like, when all else fails, I go for, because like I said earlier, whatever the circumstances, whatever's going on, whatever the situation is, this one is like gonna solve the issue. If I've got 5 minutes and I just want to buff a shade in the crease, I'll go with one of these. If I, you know, want to do a bronze smoky eye, I've got those options. If I want to experiment with colour, I've got those options. If I want to be a bit grungier, then I've got those options. If I want bright, feminine, floral colours, I've got those options. So I feel like if I'm just a bit brain dead, I don't feel very creative, I don't know what I'm doing today, like this is my fail-safe kind of go-to. Throw any of these shades together and they're gonna, something beautiful is gonna work out. So I feel like this is the one that over time will be like my most used. So there you have it, that's my eyeshadow tag. Thank you so much to Samantha and Allie for coming up with such a fun idea. It was really a lot of fun thinking about all my eyeshadow palettes and which I would put in each category. I really enjoyed this, so I hope you did too. And I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.